Afternoon. The April 8th Ascension Parish Joint Planning and Zoning Committee session is now in session. Please note that all commissioners are present.
Same staff.
Same staff? No comments from chairman. Item number 5, public hearing to recommend approval or denial for parish council.
Mr.
Joe
Chairman.
Oaks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Before we begin on item number 5, this presents a conflict of interest for me. The applicant having a business relationship with my business, so I'm going to recuse myself from this conversation and vote on this.
So noted. Silver Oaks Pod.
Hi, my name is Joe Labe with Quality Engineering and Surveying. And we've been working with Ricky and his staff on the development agreement. And here to ask the commission for approval.
Staff comments, please.
We have probably gone through 5 iterations of this, and I think it's as good as we're going to get it, unless somebody else pulls some rabbit out of some hat that we're not aware of. This is a pretty well-written developer's agreement that puts in writing everything that the developer has agreed to, and it has timing and standards for everything that they promised to. And I think that this developer's agreement is, once again, the best one that we've done so far. So we recommend approval.
Ricky, there were a couple of red line things on page 2. Were those changes from the last version? Is it all that is?
Page 2.
The sidewalk, the 6 inches?
Yeah, those are probably just a revision that's still showing up as red, but it's no big deal.
Okay.
It's how we allow the sidewalk to be built within the right-of-way, and we clarify a ½ inch from the right-of-way so that when they go in and do the pins for the property corners, they're not in the sidewalk, they're within ground.
Gotcha.
So,
Ricky, you want the sidewalks outside of the right-of-way?
inside.
Inside of the right-of-way? Is that what the typical, is that what the typical section reflects, inside the right-of-way?
Negative. The typical section shows it outside in a sidewalk servitude, but when you see those actually constructed, they look
Right.
stupid.
They're
So
too
we've-
far away from the edge of the road.
Correct.
Yes.
They're way up in the driveway and a car parks and blocks the sidewalk.
That's what I
So
thought you and I had talked about. So this is gonna fix that. This is gonna pull it closer to the road?
within the PUD, correct.
Within the PUD, okay.
For a typical subdivision, what happens today is the subdivision developer will design their cross-section based on this idea and then request a letter from the director of planning, the director of public works. We sign a letter that says, allow them to put it in with caveats noted on the plat that the sidewalk is the ownership and maintenance responsibility of the HOA, and the parish is not replacing or repairing sidewalks.
We had some concerns with traffic impact. Is that, those have all been addressed?
Yes, sir. They're in the developer's agreement and timing as to when those improvements are going to be constructed.
You said this is the best y'all have ever done. What have you learned over time about these kinds of agreements and what works, what doesn't?
I'm going to start with copy and paste. You know, when I got here, I think 5 PUDs had been approved and not one developer's agreement had ever been executed.
Wow.
Working with Quality, we did the very first developer's agreement for Keystone and Galvez. We did another one for Bullion Crossing. We've done, I think, 3 or 4 now, and almost all with Quality. And you know, copy and paste starting is the best friend, but going through the meeting minutes, going through conversations we've had, and just historical best practices for how do you build these things. And you know, it's timing and it's dimensional criteria that says, what are you going to do and when are you going to do it? And just putting that all in the developer's agreement. And I'm not going to lie, we may have missed something that comes back to bite us, but we will fix it the next time around. And that's what's happened with each iteration. Every time we've gone through a developer's agreement, it really is just a learning curve of how much, I don't think there's too much information. We've included the final development plan as part of the developer's agreement because to us, that's the document that this body approved. Ultimately, you know, the council had approval over the concept plan, but we want to make sure that the document you guys approved is what's constructed.
Also, see, I think I remember in Keystone, we had some road issues with some separation of the road from the curb, or the curb from something else. Are we comfortable that the standards will get us where we need to be here?
I would be the first to tell you that I'm not 100% sure because I'm not an engineer. But I would argue that Keystone was built on 8 feet of fill and is probably the first reason why those roads had a significant problem. On this project, I guarantee there's not 2 feet of fill, 0. I mean, it's going to be built at grade. It's going to be a much stronger base to start from. So,
Okay, great answer.
Yeah, I mean, if we as a parish agree and the developer agrees, I don't see a problem with it.
Any further comments from commissioners? This time the floor opens for public hearing. No comments? This time the floor closes. Public hearing. Can I get a motion?
I'll move for approval.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Have a comment by the staff.
you've satisfied the planning commission. Now the zoning commission will make a recommendation to the council.
So we need another motion?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we do, okay.
Okay, I make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
The motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Did we say aye to the first one?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't-
Both
Can't
motions
remember that far
passed.
back.
That's not what I'm-
Unanimously, 1 abstention.
Cool. Good job.
Public hearing?
We'll have to-
We
Can I
have-
get a motion to close?
Looks like we have a happy citizen back
I
there.
move that we adjourn.
have a public hearing to
I'll
adjourn.
second.
Number 6.
I move that we adjourn.
Yeah. Second,
I did.
third, it's unanimous.
Good night.
Good evening.